Indian news ma wakɔ aba assign the ba wɔn kasa fidie so bio. Na maka trust before anything else na just our share na ebiem nso kwa na wo subscribe to your channel no. What's the political news there? Never governance. We catch you sa pan put of ma yet. Na pan to forma yet there. Ani na nsɛm foforɔ bi nso asan esi. Benim sɛ wo de nsɛm ade bɛn na ya na ya wote na ya wɔhwɛ na ya wɔfɛn so so. Nti no nsɛm foforɔ bi asi a India news yan so pan ye to for me baby ati nyina chi no yensa atumi aka bi na yaso anso atimi atisa nsɛm bi. Yentie nsɛm member sisi a na mpanifo mpo se kakum no ye chi no koku enum de ba. Before that no subscribe to your channel no. Sabeka all other news fa politics one the opesa wotie no ɛho etie ba ebe baby asusu anso person de body no fa na de asie bia no so fa comment anso to ase ne yenkenkan informaw de ready na emeko yentie nsɛm member sisi a utie no fa comment to ase ba de emfa nchemu no so ento aso yentie mra
ministries.
National organizer of the NPP, Harry Nanabuache, is in the studio with me for us to exhaust some of the issues that he raised at that news conference yesterday. Nabi, you're welcome.
Elton, thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So, you all set for Monday?
Yes, all is set. We have engaged police. We have discussed in details the route. We will converge at the Supreme Court, the car park opposite the Supreme Court.
Right.
That is where we are going to do the mammoth gathering.
Why there?
We'll converge there, right there. We will present 3 petitions. The first will be presented at the Supreme Court. And then we'll proceed through the main street in front of NLA.
Right.
Then get to the High Court complex runabout, what they call the MOFA runabout. Right. That is how the police call it. Then we will take left, march past the High Court complex, the Law House. Then we'll go in front of the Ministries Police Station. At the traffic light, we turn right. Then we proceed through the main Ministries route, through the sports stadium. We go around the sports stadium. We take the military cemetery. Then we'll do the second presentation at Parliament. Then we'll proceed to the roundabout. We take right to Akwaje interchange. Then we'll do the final presentation of petition at the Jubilee House.
Okay.
That is where we'll bring everything to an end. But this is going to be the first of the many activities, protests.
That will be undertaken. But the question that is on the minds of people. I mean, what law has been broken that has necessitated this protest that you intend holding on Monday?
You see, the fact is that this whole thing is a political gimmick. It is something well calculated and being implemented. Look, you have the national chairman of the NDC running from one radio station to the other saying that, oh, we are going to clear the Chief Justice. And after she's been cleared, we're also going to clear the Electoral Commission and her deputies. Why? They think that the NDC, we've won, so they should stay. No, they are not going to stay. We will clear them.
I remember Dr. Kobraye said a similar thing when Mills was president.
Exactly. I mean, I remember that he said there are so many ways to kill a cat.
And nobody was cleared.
No, but that is what I'm saying, because at that time, we have to be serious about it. And that is why we have to take these things serious. Because for me, if you look at the actions, last week I said that His Excellency the President has intentions of packing the court. And I recall the journalist I was having the interview with queried me and said that, why should I so? Why should I be saying so? And I said, no, what are you talking about? I know what I'm talking about. Just the next 2 weeks, he's going to pack the court. That was just about last 2 weeks ago. And then 2 days ago, a man who was preaching a capping, a man who said that the Constitutional Review Committee set up under President Mills recommended that there should be a cap, there should be a ceiling,
right?
Maximum 15. And he used it when he was campaigning. That when he comes, he's going to make sure that there's a ceiling. He's going to champion that. And we've not seen this jump before. With one release, he's nominated 7 persons to the Supreme Court. So making 20.
But all of them qualified.
No, nobody's talking about qualification here. We were talking about what he said he was going to do. The lack of principle in here. The lack of principle in here. And all these times, do not forget that we have elements within the NDC displaying the responses of Justice Tokunu on social media. You have the National Communications Officer, Sami Jemfi, appearing on Asempa and speaking on authority to all the consultations that went on within the council. In fact, including disclosing the content of the petition and the content of the petition and the responses from Justice Tokunu and even the voting pattern. Look, they have bastardized the entire process. In this constitution, it's supposed to be, all proceedings are supposed to be held in camera.
Right.
Stay dry and...
We are being told, not only him, Edwiji Tamaklo, all these NDC people displaying the petition, displaying the responses, and saying that, in fact, they even disclosed to us that after the voting, 30
out of 31
voted in favor of the suspension. And this is where I think that the eminent council members, our respected council of state, they disappointed Ghanaians.
The person who stayed out of the voting, we are told, is former Chief Justice of Ayakuvo. And yesterday, at on Wednesday, when the IEA presented some proposals to the Constitutional Review Committee, she makes the point that the process by which the current CA is being removed is unfair.
It's unfair.
I'm wondering your response.
This is why it is even worrying that from 1992, this constitution has been in force since 1992.
Right.
And no Chief Justice has ever been suspended before. And in fact, even if you consider the petitions they've been talking about, the responses, the petition do not even warrant for an JCRC president to be suspended. This petition, that you have somebody saying that because the president, in the matter of Afenyomakin versus the speaker, the Chief Justice did not allow the rules of natural justice to work by not listening to the speaker. The speaker did not put before the court his submission. So for that matter, the president of the panel, who happens to be the Chief Justice, should be held responsible. Alton, I mean, this is a weird principle. If you go to court and if you think that the judge misapplied the law, what do? You go for an appeal.
Right.
In the case of the Supreme Court, what do? You go for a review. And Alton, I think Article 127 or so, quickly, indulge me on this. Article, I was just looking at it. Article 127, is it, I think, yes, 1273.
Right.
A justice of a superior court or any person exercising judicial power shall not be liable to any action or suit for any act or omission by him in the exercise of the judicial power. So whilst the person is exercising his or her judicial power, you cannot, per the Constitution, the person cannot be liable for any action or suit or any omission by him or her in the exercise of judicial power. You are saying that because the person gave a judgment and that particular, in your view, did not meet the threshold of rules of natural justice. And for that matter, you are holding him, her, responsible for that. It's weird. And the second petition, ACP Akoko said that what? He's been insulted, he's been lambasted, and he was removed from the court and detained. And for them, what are you talking about? When you go to the court and you display any form of violent character, any form of misbehavior, look, don't forget, the 2012 presidential
election petition.
Sir John was brought before the court. He was lambasted. he had to apologize. Have you forgotten what Justice Atuguba did to him? In fact, even recent ones, that the current Attorney General, he was brought before the court for maligning the court, and he had to apologize.
And even in this case, we are told by the court records that even a member on the panel reprimanded this person and said that your conduct is in contempt of the court.
Yes.
But again, there's a matter of this travel allowance, which we are told the CJ did not deny, but explained why her daughter benefited from state funds, and that for them constitute, I
have read the policy.
Behavior.
The policy was put together in 2010. It was, it had some review, some amendment, somewhere 2019, way even before Justice Tokono became the Chief Justice. Now, in that policy, it says that the Chief Justice is entitled to 2 holiday travels with the spouse.
And the bodyguard.
Yes. In fact, and then it goes on to say that official travels, she's entitled to travel anytime.
With a bodyguard?
No, with the husband, and not a bodyguard, with one person chosen by her. That is what is in the policy. With one person chosen by her. And that one person, she chose the daughter. And we are talking about some 200 and something thousand. You see, I am surprised. Elton.
There's a $10,000 per diem.
Even a $10,000
first class ticket to almost 100,000 Ghana cedis.
You see, I am surprised that she is the leader, the head of an arm of government. The president travels with a whole entourage. The cost on the state. Speaker travels. Speaker's medical bills are borne by the state. He travels with a whole entourage. And what? The Chief Justice? What are we talking about? Why are we belittling the position of the Chief Justice per their policy? And then the Judicial Secretary even also attested to the fact that, look, that policy has nothing to do with the Chief of Staff, the Chief Justice. We put together all her benefits. We, the Finance Director, will put together or calculate all her per diem. So, as far as the travel policy of the Judicial Service is concerned, she's not flouted any policy. She's not breached anything at all. And this is brought out as if, look, the reason why in fact, I wish that President MAhama would just revoke all of these things. Look, yesterday, TUC made a profound statement. They were very categorical. They said, Mr. President, this your action has the propensity to erode all the gains we have made in our democratic journey.
But Nanabi, this matter...
They told him in the face.
Yes, but this matter has gone through all the processes. You are saying that
we do not think that...
The Council of State made up of very competent individuals.
I'm disappointed.
All of them came to a conclusion that there's a case to be answered. And you say that all of them got it wrong.
How? This petition cannot even take a classroom prefect out. This petition, the content of it. A classroom prefect, it cannot even take a classroom prefect out, a class prefect out.
If I should take away those who were elected to the Council of State, the Constitution is clear on the composition, and you can't say that all of them, the decision they came to is influenced by partisan consideration.
No, I think that they were politically influenced, and I'm very, very, very sad. Look, the Chief Justice, they should have rather listened to. There is a Chief Justice on the Council of State. I am told that she is the chair for the Judicial Committee. And she certainly might have preferred an advice, because that is the same advice I'm sure is out there. Now, Justice Ofoekufu says that the processes are unfair. Because anybody, Elton, just look into the crystal ball. And these lame petitions, unfortunately, you know what? There was a petition that was brought by one group called Shining Star. Same content, same case, the Afenyomaken speaker case.
Right.
Same thing was brought by Professor Kokwasare. And His Excellency, the President then, with Council of State, looked into it, and then they wrote back to Professor Kokwasare that what you have brought cannot constitute a prima facie case.
Let me just...
So, you know my worry. My worry is that same content, same facts,
Presented to another
yes,
person.
it's been, yes.
And they found merit in it.
Yeah, no, and I'm surprised why they should even allow it to. It should be part of the petitions. Because you know what? Double jeopardy. You cannot be tried for the same case twice.
He was not tried.
No.
They came to a conclusion that there was no case to be answered.
No, that's part of it. It's an adjudicated body. No. It is. It forms part of the process. So once the process, the president is involved, he consults Council of State, they found out that it does not constitute a prima facie case. They write back to Professor Kokwasari, and then somebody brings a different group, the same petition, same fact. It should have been thrown out.
According to, let me just sort of, for the benefit of those who are watching us, and the fact that we've been referencing former Chief Justice of Akufu, she says that she described the current procedure outlined in Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution as unfair and lacking adequate safeguards for judicial independence. And there's a quote here: there must be a provision for appeal and an independent body rather than a presidentially appointed committee should be tasked with investigating such cases. She was quoted by the Ghana News Agency. And this is the exact quote. And it looks like we've gone past this stage. The process is running. The panel, the 5-member committee will have their day together with the Chief Justice, and that these matters will be put before her. You think embarking on a demonstration on the street will change the mind of the president and say that I'm recalling everything?
Yes, it should. I think that even apart from the political parties, the coalition of political parties, we've heard from some important groups. You have a whole TUC. May Day was a holiday because of workers. And you have the body responsible for workers in this country, the association. And they are saying that, Mr. President, we have watched this matter, we have followed it keenly, and we are of the view that the steps you have taken, the decision you have taken, it will erode the gains we have made in our democratic journey. Mr. President, you should take a cue from this. Not only them, Ghana Bar Association. This is a huge body of lawyers.
In a matter that was put to vote.
Yes, it was a resolution. That makes it even more democratic. It is not as if 2, 3, 4, 5 persons met and then took a certain decision and then they pushed it out there. It was a whole conference.
And they say that the president acted unconstitutionally.
Yes.
Is it in the place of the GBA to come to such pronouncement?
Because initially they brought out a statement. They were not privy to the petition and then the responses, and then they relied on an element from government, National Communications Officer of the NDC, who has close contact to the presidency, coming out and saying that, in fact, he said that authoritatively, he has a copy. That is what he said. He has a copy of the responses of Justice Tokono. He has the petition, and he's going to speak to it. And he spoke to it extensively on the show. So they are even of the view that this whole matter is even bastardized. That is why they also share the same view with Honorable Afenyomakin. That look, although the Constitution said that all of these proceedings should be held in camera, however, if the Chief Justice-elect that, look, yes, it is my trial, I'm being tried, I want it to be in public, I think that it should happen.
You think that there should be a public showing of this?
I don't even want it to go there. Look, I would want to just wake up and then Mr. Mahama will say, President Mahama will say tomorrow that, you know what, it's okay, we've suspended it, we've done this, let's move on.
If partisan consideration is perhaps the reason why the NDC administration has taken this route, can the same thing be said for the MPP, who've taken a position to protect, I don't know whether...
coalition of political parties.
Some says that they were not consulted and they are out of it. No. Goom, for example, says that they will not take part.
Goom, the day the statement came out, he spoke on it.
And the General Secretary says that.
He said that he supported it. The day he came out. I don't know if you are aware.
Right.
Yes, he said that he supported it. The following Monday, then he came out to say he doesn't support it. It's okay. We don't have a problem with it. He has the right to change his mind. That is fine. But the 4 other political parties, we are resolute. We are together. And we are going to protest. This is supposed to be mammoth. Look, and then we need to send the loudest signal to Mr. Mahama that, Mr. President, Ghana